Blog Talk Radio.
There's a fire starting in my heart. Reaching a fever pitch, just bringing me out the dark. Fire, see, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out, and I'll lay your shit there. See, I'll leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart. Reaching a fever pitch, and it's bringing me out the dark. The stars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The stars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it all. You have my heart. I'm gonna make your head burn. Think of me in the depths of your dismay. Making home down there with my soul to share. The stars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The stars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it.
Good evening. This is Stella Rose, author of Shattered Windows, which is a true life story. Shattered Windows is my memoir that I wrote that was actually a very healing part of my journey. I appreciate everybody who has purchased my book, Shattered Windows, off of Amazon, Kindle, Audible, paperback, and hardcover. It is a story about a heiress, which is who I am. I'm an heiress, and about my father who had Alzheimer's. And the story is basically based on how my father's health rapidly declined after a lawyer had stepped in. There was no succession plan for myself, for my younger sister Gia, for my niece, and for my nephew. The older girls, they got their inheritance. They never even tried to or thought to fought the will contest. And the reason why is because they benefited from all of that. 92% of the money supply is controlled by 8% of the population. So if you earn less than $100,000 a year, you're part of that 92% of the money supply. 8% of the population actually controls all of the money. And then once you start earning above $77,000 from the Biden administration, 2021, you are now in the 8th percentile. And basically the story is about how our family abandoned me, my younger sister, my niece, and my nephew. And also it focuses, and it's a very strong focus on the lawyer who allowed all of this to happen. And also it raises questions on how many other victims there are out there. So like one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, how did this affect the family dynamic? How did it affect our family life? we went from sitting around a dinner table eating, holiday dinners to completely radio silent. And also, another question I get asked a lot is, why did they build such massive homes and not make sure that Gia and I had a roof over our head? Yeah, sometimes people ask me, like, how many children did how many people did Tina have, how many children, I'm so verklempt today. A lot of people ask me, how many children did Tina have when she built her mansion of 18,000 square feet? And I would say, you know what, it was actually only the three of them. It was her husband, and her one child. They actually did build a massive mansion, 18,000 square feet. And why they built so many, such a big home, I don't know. Big house, hide from your spouse. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's, my siblings, they built these big homes because, they wanted people to drive by and say, oh, wow, I wonder who lives there, or, they wanted people to be envious of them, or, I wonder what those people do for a living. But you know what? I always thought, if you never know, you just never know. I mean, if you knew how they paid for it, would you still want that kind of life? I mean, they abandoned their family. They betrayed their family. And it was a very large scandal. But I do believe they paid for it another way. I mean, if you really wanted to live that life and you knew how they paid for those homes, would you still want to be a part of it? I mean, no matter how the outside looks, it's still rotten to the core on the inside, I'm so glad that I was not a part of that story as far as, like, how it was built, because I personally could not stomach it. You know what I mean? I don't have any ill will against any of my family members, because I accept that this is part of my journey. And, I'm a published author. I was number one. Thank you, Amazon. I was number one in the legal section as a number one release. And I get to rise up, and I get to stay up. And I also get to expose a major issue that needs to be corrected. What I do hope to accomplish from writing this book is that if you no longer hold a valid driver's license, or if you're past the age of 65, then your last will and testament needs to be video recorded. People record weddings, prenuptials. It would be very interesting to find out if any of my siblings had their prenups recorded on video, So, like, if you read the story, you would know that obviously my father had Alzheimer's, and this lawyer just made up paperwork in his office, which we'll get to that in a minute. But I wonder if the prenups for Tina, Jan, and Mike, were they recorded? Because why wasn't my father's last will and testament video recorded? But I hope to pass on that in any event, lack of capacity needs to be video recorded. I hope to close that gap, that gray area. No different than gray matter in the brain. If no doctor can make a determination on the stand and, in the world, like, how could an attorney, make that determination? So in other words, I'm going through the will contest. I have Gia and I were doing this will contest, and I have a expert witness, a medical expert, and they're willing to say that my dad had Alzheimer's. There's no way that he could, transact this many transactions, and things like that. So why wasn't that video recorded? Why was it left up to an attorney to determine if my father had the mental capacity to go ahead and transact a $1 billion estate, And there's obviously other people who have been victim to this. You know what I'm saying? If no doctor can make a determination on the stand, how in the world can an attorney say that my father had the mental capacity to go ahead and do all these transactions? So let's take a couple of steps back. Going through the will contest, Gia and I had a medical expert that we could put on the stand that said, I went through all of your dad's, CAT scans. There's no way he had the mental capacity to go ahead and say he executed the last will and testament or the last estate plan. Why is it that an attorney who has no medical expertise whatsoever was able to say, oh, yeah, he was fine. I evaluated him for 30 minutes and he was fine. If you cannot pass the driver's examination, you absolutely need to have your last will and testament video recorded. You know what I'm saying? No doctor say, he had the mental capacity, and then opposing counsel would say, oh, no, they lack mental capacity. No, I'm sorry. That is just not right. All the records were completely falsified, and everybody in that law firm knew that this lawyer who prepared my dad's last will and testament falsified all of these documents, okay? My whole point here is that you have this lawyer who is a senior level, okay, a partner in a worldwide law firm who caters to the wealthiest individuals, the top 100 in Forbes' richest list, okay? And he is justifying why two siblings are cut out of the estate plan? No. What reason would be a good reason for two siblings to be cut out of a multi-million-dollar fortune? There isn't one, okay? What kind of lawyer thinks and goes along with that? The only reason, because he took my share, Gia's share, Max and Morgan's share of the inheritance, okay? Not only did he steal our multi-million-dollar fortunes, because I'm going to tell you right now, I have legitimate proof that my fortune and Gia's fortune and Max and Morgan, okay, my fortune alone was worth $125 million. Now you have Gia worth $125 million. What about Max and Morgan? We're talking $500 million here, okay? What kind of lawyer goes along with saying to their client, it's okay that you just cut those other two girls out? Do you know, my older two sisters, they received their inheritance. That's why they never fought the will contest. Not only did he cut his own law firm out of that because he never charged for the billing, okay? I mean, how many other people did he do this to? And I'm just letting this lawyer know and that law firm, I'm not going away, not anytime soon, okay? I'm going to be that little needle in your eye, that little pin cushion, that little voodoo doll with the pin sticking. I am never going to shut my mouth, even though I know you ordered a mob attack against me and you left me disabled, actually. I have paperwork, medical paperwork that states I am literally disabled. I qualify under the American with Disability Act, okay? I'm a disabled American, even though I still work as much as I possibly can. But that entire office was in on the whole gig, and it's all going to come crashing down like a house of cards, okay? There's just no way that you can climb the ladder, that rickety ladder that you climb to the top under faulty circumstances. There's my disability kicking in, okay, that you caused. But anyway, you're a seasoned lawyer. You made it to the top, but you made it on faulty circumstances. And eventually it all comes out into the wash, okay? Meanwhile, I'm going about living my life. I'm going to continue to put it out there until justice is served with this ongoing issue. I mean, you stopped at nothing. Lawyer. You tried to have me killed. You had me beat up. You ordered a mob attack against me. You left me disabled. No, none of my siblings contact me. None of them care at all, but they're going to care because this message is going out to the masses. Everybody is going to find out. They're going to contact me. This is going to be published into law schools. You're not going to get away with it. So here we have a lawyer who caters to the top 100 wealthiest people on the Forbes list, okay? You did a faulty estate plan. This is the whole purpose why I wrote the book Shattered Windows under the pen name Stella Rose. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, paperback. Amazon even gave me a hardcover, okay? They gave me a hardcover, okay? So, my siblings, they built these homes, and they're like, oh, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at what, okay? If you knew how they paid for those homes, you would have nothing to do with that vibe. Trust and believe, okay? So this message is to let that lawyer know we're coming for you, okay? Loud and clear, okay? I have so many people lined up, ready to take you down. We're taking down the whole firm. We're taking down not only that office, but we're taking down that whole firm. You will 100% legit be paying me back, be paying Gia back, be paying Max and Morgan back. We're coming for you, okay? The book, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be a published author. But I'm letting you know right now, you didn't get away with anything, nothing. You gave me a writing career. Now I'm an author, but the story isn't over, just got started.
There's a fire starting in my heart. Reaching a fever picture, bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and tell me out, and I'll lay your shit there. See, I'll leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I do. There's a fire starting in my heart. Reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. they keep me thinking that we almost had it all. Just cause of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't stop feeling we could have had it all.